Did I forget anything? Probably not. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Ooh, I don't want you to see my mouse cursor, so it's fine if it's a little sluggish. So, before we get rolling, so that's what the latency is. Ooh, curious. Okay. So here's the thing. This is just briefly, this is more or less what I talked about before we got rolling, you know? So, today, just interesting places, interesting things. Yeah, that's watermelon tourmaline. That's also like the badge for 2 years, I think, is watermelon tourmaline. It's my favorite. It looks like a nice Jolly Rancher. Can you eat it? Well, possibly. It may not be a good idea. It's pretty, though. It's super pretty. I'm pretty sure, I am almost positive, getting fixated on a lovely picture of watermelon tourmaline when I was a wee baby geop is what set me down my dark path. So, already kind of mentioned, general idea, if we do more of these, I want to get into more nitty-gritty topics. I want to go down, basically, I honestly would love to go down most of my curriculum and things like that, you know? I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking right here. At least longer term. I do need to get into a way to like I need to find hand samples somehow. It's funny, I've got a closet full of shit, but it's like, I've realized like very basic things, like olivine and peridotite, I don't have any of that. So I need to, I don't know, I will find something. I need hand samples, but that would get into like hand cam stuff, but I'm fine with that. That sounds like a lot because it is. I told you I'm a sicko for this stuff. I need to explain I am a rock for a reason. I'll actually get to that in the next slide. College credits. We'll talk about that. So I also lectures. I don't know what the lecture thing is. This is a trial run. I'm figuring this shit out, okay? Don't sweat it. This first one, might be a little bit long. Don't worry about it. I know. I'm trying to stay aware of the issues with this in the back of my noggin. And if there's any sort of things like questions, I will stop at the end and I will say, hey, do you have any questions? There is a highlight my question sort of redeem. You can use that if you want it to pop out. You don't have to. But if it's like, if I'm in the middle of rambling like this and somebody says something that I can answer super fast, I'll pounce on that. But just please bear in mind, oh, my puppet's in the way. No. Should I just make him, where should I deposit him? Oh, deposit. That's going to be useful in a bit. I may scoot him around a little. This is kind of like what? Something just hit my window. It's probably just a bird. I don't know. Well, that was a first. Anyway, where was I? Right. I was in the center of the slide. Q&A, channel point redeem. Okay. We're going to find a good detailed map of world fault lines. Faults are everywhere. Seriously. Faults are extremely, extremely commonplace. I will get into it in a bit, trust me. That's kind of, I'm trying to think of a good analogy. The world is full of faults, exactly. How poetic, wow. Okay. I said I wouldn't do this, but I need to briefly get into it, okay? This is, for some of this, if you've known me for a while, some of this is stuff that you probably already know. You're going to go, yeah, whatever. Okay, but for the folks who found me from Twitch, there's some stuff I want to touch on. That's not what spacebar was supposed to do. Spacebar. There. Woo. Actually, was there a latency? I dare you. No, we're golden. So, my username comes from Geophysics. I am still technically a geophysicist, but I am effectively on the precipice of changing careers, but I've been one for a very long time, okay? Now, the common thing, as I said earlier, probably before this recording started, if you ever told somebody in college that you're doing geophysics, the exact set of words I was told every single time was, wow, What do you plan to do with that? And I'm sure you know this. If you've been to college, the first go-to thing people say is, so, what's your major? So this would kind of be, if it was geology, be like, yeah, okay, rocks for jocks. And it was like, yeah, whatever. Geophysics, they just sort of go, what? Huh? Anyway. Long and short of it, I will get into this. I've settled on a description of it's a chimera-like beast. It's got all these weird bits and bobs from geoscience and other fields. So, most of my background, aside from geophysics, math, physics, geology, geoinformatics. That last, I mean, technically, you're not supposed to have that many. I technically have 4 minors. Geoinformatics, that's GIS, that's GPS, that's how that shit works. I really want to talk about that at length. That is like a huge topic that I feel like I could dumb down a lot. I think you turned on every sound redeem except clap. You're lying to me. Are you fibbing to me, Mixolydian? Clap is on. I left clap on by itself. The heck is geoinformatics? It is just the entire discipline and field of describing like Orforio, no, I've got that off too. Thank you for quacking. It's the entire notion of, okay, the Earth itself is shaped like a lumpy potato. It's technically like a geoid. I always go for the description of a lumpy potato because it works. And the thing is, with mapping and such, mapping requires, at least in these cases, for getting it to a projection and a coordinate system, it assumes things are constant in certain ways. So it's like, oh yeah, I will approximate the shape of the Earth to like this ellipsoid, but that leads to error as it gets further and further away from the origin point. And I'm sorry, I'm going off on a derail, but basically it's the entire science that deals with mapping, coordinate systems, projections, and all this stuff. Anything you do with Google Maps, it's got that. GPS, it's got that. And that's kind of the over, under, high, and low of it, you know? So I should also say, there are streamers on here who are, they've gone through they have gone through studies of post-grad level. I really need to emphasize this just in case it gets away from me. I do not have a master's. I do not have a PhD. I am not a former prof. I'm just a person who studied this, has been working in the industry. I love this stuff and I've continued studying it, and I've been collecting it since as literally the earliest years of my life. I remember I was already collecting shiny stuff. Extremely grackle-brained, you know what I mean? Anyway. I also kind of like teaching. Hopefully I haven't lost my touch. I was a TA willingly for 3 courses. That was geology majors, geology non-majors, and petrology. Petrology, that's eye candy, buddy. That's thin sections under a microscope. That is like a sicko field I really want to work on. I think I know the technical setup for that. But that's kind of like, if I decide to move forward with this, that is something for another day and time, you know? Field where you lick rocks to know if there's oil on it. Ooh, yum, 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 yum. Oil is kind of like a bit of a weird soy sauce to find out there. It's great. Also, people make fun of me about the licking and the teeth things. Well, not just the teeth things. The thing is, your tongue is a lot more sensitive to granular differences than your fingers. So often when people are out in the field and they really don't know what they're dealing with, they'll crack off an outcropping and just take a little lick or something, and they'll be like, yeah, teeth. There's like a slight grittiness you could discern between your teeth maybe, and also your tongue. It's kind of this interesting skill set you develop. It's very, very handy though. Anyway. So, I found this on Google Images. I didn't really know what to do for an image here. I have no idea what the hell it's saying. There's actually like an entire Redbubble field of geophysics shirts that are nonsense. It's wild. It's just like, I don't know. A true sicko. I was on the verge of removing this and I was like, no. It's there. It's staying. So, what is geophysics. What is geology? I don't want to step on toes putting these into boxes, but just super fast, if we had to differentiate these two. Geology typically is focused on like tangibles, things you find in the field. Like if you are differentiating rocks you find in outcroppings and you are doing a field map, you're trying to discern the composition of a hand sample, things like that. It's very focused on tangibles. Once again, this is a very loose definition. A geologist could come in here and say, I don't agree with that. And it's like, that's totally fair. This is just super fast, super fast. Picture that in your mind. Geophysics, well, actually, I'm sorry, composition stratigraphy. Missed a bullet point, sorry. Same thing. Geophysics is largely with the mindset of physical properties. So the notion with geophysics is often you will go out in the field and you will do some sort of a survey. Seismic, gravmag, ground penetrating radar, electromagnetics. You'll take that, you will record it, you'll go back into office, you will do some sort of processing to clean up and correct it, and you will look at the end result, and from that you may do like interpretation or proceed from that point. That's kind of the thing. There's usually like a bit of weird friendly jabbing where geologists will pride themselves on being a lot more married to the field work, whereas the geophysicists have to be in front of a computer. And sometimes that is kind of true, really. It's a friendly little prodding, okay? If I were to decide where the property line is, I think it's more of like a state and local thing, honestly. Okay, but that is it for the intro stuff. We're about to get to the actual location stuff. Any general questions? Hack the planet? Not now. That's a few streams later. Sometimes with ArcGIS, yeah. One moment. Ooh. Pardon. I'll just give a few moments in case there are any questions. Let me see. Where am I at on the timer? Okay, that's plenty of time. Plenty of time. Okay, I think we're good to proceed then. So, the first topic today. I teased it earlier because I know this had come up. Oh, right, I forgot. I need to move something here. So, my fellow geoscientist brethren, I am doing you a service. Friends, if you can think of a geological pun or reference, like take it for granted or nice, we've heard it before. We've heard it so many times. We've heard it so many times. We're so tired. There are only so many jokes. What I'm trying to say is I'm exhausted. Geology rocks for jocks. Geology makes the bedrock. Coming tonight. God, there's so many of them. There is a finite number of them, and it's kind of like if anybody ever throws one on my face, inside I kind of feel like the same weariness that you feel from getting rickrolled, you know? Anyway, I forgot about that bullet point. Wow. Okay. Well. Let me see here. Cleavage. Yeah, cleavage. That's another one, yeah. So, time for cool stuff. Look at this GIF, by the way. It's very nice, very bouncy. Look at that. So, thing for today, we're going to be looking over some weird places and things. I'm going to give geology-related context behind them. There's some of these things where I had to dig around a lot to find some things that I feel should be major items. They're not. They're left out, and that left me a little frazzled. Okay, this is the key jingling segment. That's what this whole lecture is. We're jingling keys today. I was going to get into some basics of geology, but no. We need to look at cool shit. Cool shit ahead. Okay. So,